week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. It's war!
Damn right it is.
Well, also you can find out what specials are going to be available in the Haunted Home Shopping Network.
And showtime for the news. Let's do this. Welcome to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. Today we're going to talk Season 5, Episode 2. Good God, y'all! I'm Diana.
I feel like I should say like something like, what would be, howdy Diana, is that, with the y'all in there, but I mean, I say y'all all the time. I will never stop saying y'all, but I mean, people in other countries say y'all. I mean, in other countries or places outside of Texas. Oh, okay. Anyway, so Diana, what's going on with you?
I recently had a quick trip to Houston. I also very excited about this information. I learned how to make baba ganoush, and I know that doesn't sound that exciting, but I really like eggplant. I really like baba ganoush.
Did you just say I really like eggplant? This is why when you said you were going to talk about this, I was stoked. Because I immediately started going, oh shit, I'm going to be able to put like little floating eggplant emojis across Diana's face. And now you just said, recorded, I really like eggplant. Anyway, so talk.
Thanks, Liz, setting that one up.
You're welcome. Now talk to us about how you make baba ganoush.
No, pass. Anyways, found a really good recipe on Pinterest, of course. I'm super excited to go see Vandelier's album release coming up in Dallas. It'll be a rad show. Vandelier's, anyways, good Texas band. But yeah, that's about it going on here. How about you?
I mean, I have been living in a state of devastation for the past couple of weeks. Taco Bell giveth the Mexican pizza, and then it taketh the Mexican pizza away. And it's very sad. And at first I thought it was just a glitch in my DoorDash app, because like, well, fuck, I'm driving to Taco Bell. No. Someone's going to bring that shit to me. And so I was looking at the app, and I was like, no Mexican pizza? What the fuck? And then finally, like, it happened again the next week. No, I did not order Taco Bell 2 weeks in a row. Or did I? Probably. But again, not there. And then I went to the Google and saw that no more Mexican pizza, because people wanted it too much and Taco Bell was not prepared, and they have supply chain issues. So the Mexican pizza won't be back until like, I think they said maybe fall or next year, but fuck. I don't even know why I'm living.
Man.
Right.
I don't know, like Doja Cat and Dolly Parton teamed up and
if Doja Cat and Dolly Parton can't make something happen, like what is we got nothing. We got nothing. Oh, and also
they want the Choco Taco. Are people calling for Doja Cat and Dolly Parton to partner up again for to get the Choco Taco back?
Why would you stop making Choco Taco? Like,
it can't be that expensive to make, right? It's not like they're like sitting on store shelves, like not being sold.
I mean, are like Choco Tacos just languishing in the stores? Like, are people not doing their part? I think people are eating Choco Tacos. I have a friend who ate like a dozen of them in one night, and we were very concerned about his health. He was very sick. Very sick. What kind of wine are you drinking?
It's a Marsanne. It's a white one.
It's a what?
The Marsanne? I don't remember. It's a white wine from Texas. It's the... Oh, God damn it. I don't remember. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking... Oh, shit. I just, like, knocked this fucking table. I was like, I should have the whole bottle. I'm drinking, Señor's Chardonnay. So it is really good. It was really hot, and... Not the wine, the weather. And I was like, well... And then I was like sitting there staring at the wine rack, list problems. And I was like, well, I was like looking at the rosé, and I was like, it's too sweet. Like, if I drink that, I'm going to just not be in a good mood tomorrow. And I have a very long day of things that have to be done that cannot be done with a rosé wine hangover.
That's fair.
Like, I mean, you can't like just turn on Casey Musgraves for like the rest of like your day and loll through it. Like, I have shit to do.
Yay. Well, on that note, let's talk about this episode. We're
Good
on
God, y'all.
season 5, episode 2.
Yeah, and this first aired September 17th, 2009. It actually filmed in July of 2009, I think this week. So, I don't know how many years ago 2009 was, because... Was that 13? Yay, I don't know what that means. But so it was directed by Phil, and was EP in a bunch of the boys stuff, and I think I saw his name pop up, but I think he may have directed, I'm not sure. But and then Sarah was the one who wrote this, so we talk about them all the time. All right, but it does start off with Foreigner. All right, so anyway, so Foreigner's long way from home, and we've got Bobby sitting in a trucker hat and a bathrobe like a champ.
And he is pissed because he's still in the hospital. Actually, he's not even mad. He's like, Bobby has like recessed into himself. He is depressed. Sam and Dean are there. Apparently Bobby's been like this for like 3 days, like just not talking. And Dean's like, well, we just need to cheer him up, because that's Dean's brilliant idea. And Sam's like, maybe he's just not going to bounce back very fast this time. And yeah, so Dean busts out the x-ray though that he just had taken of his chest. And
it's gorgeous.
It is impressive. Yeah. He says the doctors are baffled because it's his chest x-ray with like in the last episode we got Castiel put his hand on their chest and like blammed some like sigils into their rib cage. But this is more than I think anybody anticipated being done. Like, this is like a full work of art on both of their rib cages, apparently. Kind of jealous. I also am very concerned that anybody in the body modification scene has already tried to do this to themselves. Well, then Sam's phone rings and Castiel is calling Sam, asking where they are. Because of the fucking etching on the ribs, he can't just find them. So he's got to call them on the phone to ask where they are at. So he shows up. And Bobby's like, fuck this, Castiel, heal me. Because he hears Castiel show up. Castiel's like, I can't. And Bobby's pissed. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm totally cut off from heaven and my powers. And Bobby is extra fucking pissed. And he's like, this is, like, he's just mad. He wants to be healed. He is pissed. He is paralyzed from the stabbing, and he wants to be fixed. So Castiel tells Dean that Dean's plan to kill Lucifer can't be done.
Yep.
But Castiel has a plan.
And what's his plan? Who is it? Who's going to save it?
He's going to go find God.
And I don't know if you noticed, but both of their faces, and I've got it captured, so we'll share on places, but they have the best faces to this news, right? So Dean kind of has like his scowl, like, God, what is my lover saying? And then Sam is just like, huh? And it looks like his eyes are about to go cross-eyed.
Yeah. So Castiel's like, yeah, God isn't in heaven anymore. And Dean's like, the fuck? He's like, where is he? Something about, he makes a crack about being in New Mexico on a tortilla. And I was amused at Cass's response was, no, he's not on any flatbread. So Dean goes off and is like, God is dead, or he doesn't give a rat's ass. The world's in a toilet. This is the end of fucking days. This is bullshit. Why are we going to look for God? This is his attitude. And Castiel's like, look, this isn't a theological thing. It's fucking strategic. This is the person, like, you know, I gave up everything for you. This is the only person that can help. Sam and Dean failed to stop all this. We're fucking desperate. God is our answer here. That's all we got. And Bobby's like, well, what do you want, Castiel, to make this happen? And there's some rare and powerful amulet that burns hot in God's presence that he needs. Oh, it just happens to be the fucking amulet Dean's wearing around his goddamn neck. That's convenient. Of course. So he takes the amulet from him, and Dean is very sad. He said he feels naked.
No. That's how you explained what just happened. That he just takes the amulet, and Dean is very sad. Oh no, this is a full on fucking No, it's a fucking Destiel scene. I've recorded audio and sent it to you earlier. So everybody knows this is like a complete love scene, right? So Dean is like, "What? This?" And Castiel goes, "May I borrow it?" And Dean goes, "No." And then Castiel goes, "Dean, give it to me." And that's what I sent Diana earlier, by the way. And then as Dean's sitting, this is straight from the transcript, Dean is silent, realizing Castiel is serious. Then thinking it over, he takes off the amulet. All right, I guess. Dean holds it out, then pulls back when Castiel reaches for it. "Don't lose it," says Dean. Castiel takes it. And then Dean says, "Great. Now I feel naked." See? Naked. He's fucking naked. And then Castiel says, "I'll be in touch."
I feel naked without a watch on. That's the same thing. He feels naked. He wears that amulet all the fucking time, and now it's gone. I feel naked if I don't have a watch. The same thing.
Yeah, no. Castiel says, "Give it to me," and then Dean says, "Naked." That is clearly what happened. But in reality, also that amulet was like the one that Jensen is wearing was made of brass and very heavy, and apparently there was like a stunt amulet, which I think is hysterical, right? Like the fact there's just like a stunt amulet that isn't made of brass, so like when it flies around it doesn't hurt you. So if you forgot to take it off, like he chipped teeth and stuff. So, but what if you're like, well, fuck, man, like I want an amulet of my own. Where do you go?
How do you get an amulet?
You go to Liz's.
You have to go to Liz's Haunted Home Shopping Network.
That is where we're going.
It's Liz's Haunted Home Shopping Network.
Get out those credit cards. All right. The first item that we're going to be talking about is from Ho Song 14 on Etsy. And I really kind of debated whether or not I was going to say some of these names, but whatever, you put your shit on Etsy. All right, so this first one we're starting off with is this lovely antique king of something in Thai, and I did not get the pronunciation of that one, but it is really translated to closing eyes Buddha, and it also is in the description: luck, wealth, charm, good, business, old, Thailand, pendant, rare. All right, so that's the title for it. And it can be yours for $50,000.
That's all?
That's it. What do I get with $50,000, you ask? Well, you can add your own personalization. Oh, yeah, you can put something on this Buddha. It'll be really great. Maybe listen on the belly. Give him a nice little rocker. Like Buddha's belly just said, like, ta-da! Like, that would be fucking amazing, right? So you can put that on there. You also get power magical. I don't know what power magical is, but cool. This is blessing by Buddhist priests in a past chanting ceremony. So I think monks have blessed this. Hurrah! And we also have 100% satisfaction guarantee on this item. So if you're not pleased with this, you can just send this back to Imho. All right. This amulet also came from the shop owner's own grandfather. Isn't that great? You don't want to pass on this fantastic gift for someone special to worship. I don't know if it's that person you're going to worship or to worship the amulet, right? But you can keep it with you for a good luck charm, good business and life protection power, or keep it in your house. It is a fabulous collector's item indeed. Those are their words, not mine. They said that. Indeed. And if you order now, you get free shipping worldwide. Wherever worldwide is. Like,
worldwide.
I said, and they do this one. We will ship in 1 business days after payment confirmed. All right. So you're looking at this. You're like, closed eye Buddha. Like, I'm not feeling it. You know what I really want? I want to gamble. So what you need for that is the Gamble Thai amulet of the Thailand's horny little devil. And I think I need to go to I think my friend has told me, let's see if we can hear this, you're supposed to say this.
My mom just called me. She said it's pot nong.
Could you hear that? So, pot nong. My friend who is Thai told me the pronounce, because I could not find on the internet how to say this. So I'm not going to attempt to repronounce that. And I'm going to let that be.
Sure.
Thank you, Mick. All right. So, but you will love this little imp and his red eyes. They follow you everywhere and they're kind of adorable. I mean, they must be made of some rubies? Sure.
50,000.
Sure. It does say mixed material. So, I mean, ruby is a material, right? I mean, or kind of looks like a pasting, like, I don't know, Swarovski, like maybe like
Swarovski sparkles better than that.
Yeah, like what I buy on Amazon when I want to bedazzle shit. That is kind of what his little cute eyes say. It's fucking adorable.
It is adorable, but not $50,000.
I don't know. So, I mean, this is what you get with it, right? All right. It will protect the owner from the bad things, such as evil, black magic, to improve a love. Wait, I guess this is a good part now. All right. So, or it's protecting you from this. Not sure. All right. So, you improve a love, charm, luck, and wealth makeover. Makeover? Who doesn't love a good makeover? Right?
Everybody loves a good makeover.
Yeah. Much like the jewel we showed before this. Now remember, this is the same Imho shop. It does have free world shipping. But this one ships in 2 business days after payment is confirmed.
Wow.
So just so you know, if you're in a hurry, you may want to get closed-eyed Buddha, not gambler, whatever, little red eye thing. All right. So, and yeah, again, $50,000. But, you know, I mean,
All right, then.
he's a horny little devil. He's great. So, and maybe, you know, but some of us are like, that's a little high for me. I mean, you don't have those amulets yet. So you can't, you know, have the money to buy things.
You got to start with a lower level you got to start with a more budget conscious amulet so that you can have the funds to buy the more expensive amulets later, right?
Exactly. And for those of you, like, we do have this tasso or horse tooth that's 10% off. So it's 10% off, and I think it runs out, you know, it's under $2,000. So it is a horse tooth, but it does not come from a horse's mouth, just so we know. This is a precious Tibetan bead. Now, how often can you find a precious Tibetan bead? I mean, they're rare, right?
Yeah.
And
I mean, and who doesn't love a sale?
And who doesn't? These are on sale. They are 10% off, right? And these are some of the oldest Z beads that we've ever seen, right? And we can get endurance, beauty, elegance, and freedom, just like the sacred animal, the horse. Yep. So this can also help you to not only overcome barriers, but also will favor the pursuit of luck. And it helps to be at the right time and right place so you can grab luck by the tail. Because it's a horse. Yeah, you get it? But if you wear this, then it allows the owner to be in those places so that you can find it. And the horses also can become very loyal to their owners. So this bead can become very affectionate and loyal to you. So if you need a friend,
it's an affectionate bead.
It's an affectionate bead. It's a horse bead.
That just sells itself.
It does. It really does. Okay. So far we've been talking a lot about money and luck, but what about love, right? Don't we all deserve some love? So now let's take a look at this Marry Me amulet. Extremely dangerous. Oh my.
Whoa.
Oh, it's dangerous. But it is selling for the bargain price of $1,888. And with that, you can also add your own personalization. So great. Let's make it special, right? We want something that's unique for us.
It better be personalized.
Right. But there's a caution. Spirits of higher realm are summoning here to help you and will never harm you. Please do not engage the spell out of curiosity. It will be disrespectful. So don't do that.
I don't know if I've ever had that curious of an $1,800.
I don't know. But well, let's see. What does 1,800 get? What does it get you? What's it made of, right? Okay. So you materials are candles, mantra, chanting, candle making, spell jar.
So it's not so much of like a jewelry amulet that you would wear. It is more of a package to do a spell.
I'm guessing and also paying for somebody to make candles. Like somebody should have paid you for all the candles that you made during COVID. So yeah, Diana, pimp whatever site you're still selling candles on here.
I don't have. They're not.
They're done. Okay.
I was making candles.
Yeah. All right, she had a problem. It became a thing. Okay, so this is.
I can't sit still very well, and we were in a goddamn pandemic.
I know.
And
We all did things.
Myself.
We did things. Okay. I have a rower. So anyhow, so this is the amulet you should possess if your ultimate goal is matrimony. Is there a person in your life who means the world to you? Are you ready to tie the knot? Then you should possess the Marry Me amulet. I agree. I want the Marry Me amulet. So you should do this if your lover is preventing the relationship from moving forward. If your lover...
Then maybe you shouldn't marry them.
Yeah, probably. That's a sign. Maybe. If your lover is having second thoughts about you and your future together... just bind them to you with magic. It's fine. If you were certain that marriage would bond the two of you together, which is what marriage is supposed to do, but okay, that's great.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the definition.
All right. So the Marry Me amulet is designed to do one thing: pierce the heart of your loved one, making them not only aware of your desires, but bringing their desires and their love to you to the same level, so you can be crazy together. It's so good. I love two crazy people in love. Like, it works out well, or at least I get some datelines out of it. And so this mystical amulet will bring love, loyalty, and passion to those who possess it. You know, less than passion, right? So to get started, though, you do need to send some things. So to this person on Etsy, you need to send both of yours full names, both of yours mother's names, both of yours date of birth, both of your time of birth, but that's optional, both of yours birthplace, both of your current address, and both of yours picture.
So identity theft is the answer.
Yep. That's how you live together, because you both of your money is gone, so you have nothing to do but to fall in love, right? All right. So that was the Marry Me amulet. It's available. Huh. We do not endorse that we're not sponsored by the Marry Me amulet. We do not do what you will with it. If you want to,
this is not an endorsement or a recommendation of any product whatsoever.
Not endorsement, not and whatever you want to buy it. Sure. Whatever. All right, so
we're not saying not to either.
It's like not to, but you know. All right, so if your identity has not been stolen yet and you still need that extra piece for your home, may we suggest the super rare and collectible 2-head 10 tails lizard mystery powerful tie amulet.
Motherfucker's kind of cool looking.
I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of cool, but fucking creepy, because just like the title suggests, it is a lizard with 2 heads and 10 tails. Yeah. And it's not a wet. Yeah,
it was descriptive.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. It's not a wet specimen. It's not a. I don't know. Like it's a taxidermy, but it's in a thing.
It's like a dry specimen in a container.
Yeah, so it looks like kind of taxidermied, like in a quartz crystal or something.
I bet that's...
Yeah, I don't know. It's in very good condition, though. It's what it says. It's very good condition.
Not sure.
It also has been blessed by Buddhist monks with holy water. Not just any water. Holy water. As all tie amulets has been blessed by monks. They made that very clear. There is no need to bless them again. Nope, no need.
No, it's
as the pure spiritual power, which has already been embedded inside the amulet, will remain forever. but the amulet will empower
Always a but.
its power only if the proprietor thinks good, do good things, and say good things. So this is all on you, buddy. All right? So you need to send...
So hold on. If you do good things and say good things and are a good person, then good things will come to you because of the amulet, not because you're a good
Yeah,
student.
this amulet that costs $9,999. But frankly, like...
Or you could just try not, or you could just follow their recommendation and just don't be a dick. And then maybe good things will come
Trademark.
to you. I don't know.
But I mean, really, you're paying for the fucking tailed lizard. So I have a lot of lizards that live at my house. They're adorable. We have like bearded ones, and I forgot some other things. But sometimes I have some albino ones that live in the garage. They're fun, but they don't have 10 tails.
Or two heads.
So, something happened to that poor lizard. poor lizard. Like, who found this lizard? Like, I have so many questions. So many questions about this board. And the thing is, this one's on eBay, so you can actually go and look. And there's many other ones, because apparently the thing, this brings you extra luck. Like, the more number of heads and the more tails, all of them are more luck within this amulet. But, like... I don't trust people, and I'm just like, y'all are mutating lizards. Like, some, like, either, like, through, like, radiation, or, like, you're just fucking, like, mutated lizards to other mutated lizards. I just see, like, this factory happening somewhere in Thailand. So if you are the proprietor of the lizard factory, please contact me through my DMs. All right, so our last item. All right, let's get through this. All right, so our last item is our bargain item, right? So we know... $9,900, it's a lot. $50,000, it's a lot. Unless you have the amulets, and then it's nothing, right? So if you already bought those, whatever,
Right.
you don't need this, or maybe you do,
Fine.
right? So here, for the price of $19.99 and free 4-day,
There you go.
and 4-day shipping, free 4-day shipping. Very exclusive. 4. I don't know what shipping company offers 4-day shipping, but whatever is a thing, sure. You can have powerful protection magic voodoo black chicken foot charm amulet. And so, like, I looked at that at first and I was like, did they put the black magic, like, did they move the black, like, was this a typo? But nah, it's a black chicken foot feet.
Yeah.
Feet, to be example.
It is chicken feet.
Chicken feet.
Do you get 2 for the
You get 2,
$19.99?
man. That's a fucking bargain, man. You're getting, that's like that is
Both
like
feet.
$10,
Man.
less than $10 a piece.
$10 a foot.
$10 a foot, $10 a foot, right? And they're kind of cool looking. I'm not gonna lie, but they do offer protection from evil and thievery and bad intent. It comes with a special spell. Personalized magic can be applied on request. This is $19.99, y'all. This is fucking bargain. It's a fucking bargain.
That's a deal.
It can be worn or placed near valuables, and I think they are just trying out to be fucking earrings. Like, they have this little attached metal crown on them and a chain, and they're just like, bitch, man, you wear that shit out, you were gonna have like the best shit. Nobody's gonna rob you at all. Nobody gonna rob you if you're
No.
wearing black. These they are real.
They might try to start, and they're gonna be like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" I'm sorry.
And they'll be like, wait, are those chicken feet? And then they're going to be like, yeah, man, they're real. And like, yeah, and then they're just going to walk away or give you their money. I think, yeah, they're just like, here, man, like, just take my shit. Like, you need this.
Just take my shit. I'm good.
Yeah, yep. You can also have special decor and charms and chains and feathers added on request. So there's like different items you can look at. Each item is unique and made to order by a voodoo witch doctor, although limited supplies are available. And like I said, I mean, honestly, they're not terrible looking. They're kind of cool, and I don't want to fuck with a witch doctor.
No. Yeah.
I just don't want to be cursed by one, so...
I think they're kind of cool.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, but also then I started thinking about this from an entrepreneur's perspective. That was also something the psychic told me. I'm an entrepreneur. So how about this on Shark Tank? All right, so those chicken feet, if I am not mistaken, I can still, even in this timeline, I think I can get a bag of chicken feet for like $1 at the store. But yep. So I go, but that's like $1, and you probably get like 24 chicken feet in there, and like you're selling these for $20.
Yeah.
Good on you, man.
Nice markup. Healthy profit margin.
Also,
Healthy profit margin.
this does come with a mini sample bottle of Magic Black Chicken Oil.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either. And it didn't say. It did say.
Is it like emu oil? I don't really know. Let's leave that alone.
Yeah. I mean, you know I'm going to order these for you, right?
God damn it.
$20, man. Is this for $20? Oh, yeah, it's worth $20. Yeah.
It's Liz's Haunted Home Shopping Network.
Yeah, and we cut right up. So Bobby does say, "When you find God, tell him to send legs." And we cut immediately then to Rufus. What? Rufus Turner. Here he is, and he's got a shotgun at a gas station in like a big firefight with pulling an injured guy. So we're obviously in some small town. We don't really know where. Rufus is in a firefight with somebody, and he's got to put a tourniquet on this kid's leg. And I say kid, he's a
kid. I mean, he's a teenager. It looks like I don't know. He could be 12 or 25. I don't know. He's somewhere between those ages.
I mean, I'd say like 16 to 25, but yeah. Anyway, so Rufus calls Bobby, and the phone's all fucked up. The cell coverage is garbage in River Pass, Colorado, and he's asking Bobby for help. And as he's doing that, there's two demons coming for him. It's a biker and a redneck with an axe.
Colorado.
And then the call drops. So, and yes, that's appropriate. So we cut back. Now we've got our Winchester brothers driving baby to River Pass, Colorado. And of course, as they get to this small town, the fucking bridge is out. Because of course the bridge is out. They're walking to Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum. Funny enough, this song was just on Shazam the other night, and I was very proud of myself because I knew it right away, and I knew who sang it. Came out in 1969 as a bit
Wait,
of
did you know
trivia
that
about the
before or
song that I
after you
learned.
watched this?
I knew this. No,
What?
song name,
So
I
did the
didn't know
Shazam
Norman
happen
Greenbaum.
before or after you watched the episode?
Ah.
That's awesome. It's so great. See, Supernatural
I
gives
was
you
very
knowledge.
excited.
Yeah.
So, what was interesting is that it was Norman Greenbaum was inspired to write this song after watching Porter Wagner sing about a preacher on TV.
Interesting.
There you go. All right. So yeah, they run up. They're walking through this town. There's cars flipped. Everything's just kind of abandoned. It's really kind of
Except
creepy.
for the fishing
And
rods,
they
which are
were
all
really
like
cool.
still like they're all pointed up and like in their little rod holes.
Rod holder. Well, what I thought was a really clever use of music here, though, is that we're hearing the music like Foley, like we do whenever they use background music on the show. But as they're walking up to this one car that's left running, the music slowly transitions, so the direction and the tone of it changes. So now it is playing from the shitty speakers in this car instead of being the background music. I just thought that was a really cool
Yeah,
effect
no, that
they did.
was
They turned
a
it off.
brilliant move.
It was. So there's some really, really cool stuff. I'm going to go ahead and be up front. There's really, really cool things about this episode. I kind of don't like this episode. It kind of upset me. I'm just going to be up front. Well, we haven't talked about that yet today, but there's really cool stuff like that I'm like, man, I really appreciate that. But also the storyline. I don't
Fair.
like.
So we do, like, as they're walking through, we do see a banner for the 75th anniversary of Pioneer Days. And, of course, they threw Easter eggs in there. And so the Grand Marshal is the production designer, Jerry Wanek. Sorry, dude, if whatever your name has W-A in it. I have a Waddell name, so I get it. So it could be Wanek or Wanek. And then the rodeo queen is Lee Lashuk, which is a shout out to the graphic artist, Lee Ann Elishuk, or Elichuk. Sorry, also if I butcher your name. But so, yay, Easter eggs. And then we see...
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a horrible scene of blood splatter with a stroller that's been run over by a car. But then
there's also a shiny red Mustang.
And there's a shiny red Mustang and all the arrays of abandoned
Yep.
cars out there. But that one stands out because it's shiny red
And it's not
Mustang
fucked with.
from, I
Like,
believe, 1966. Yeah, it hadn't been, like, opened or just left running or anything crazy. So we hear a gun cock, and they turn around, and it's fucking Ellen. What? We haven't seen her in a while. And she splashes Dean in the face with holy water and then almost shoots him in the face.
you know, I would really like to be able to just, like, walk up to my friends and throw water in their face.
Just, like, throw holy water in their face.
Yeah,
Shrug.
alright.
Throw holy water in their face and then hold a gun to their face to watch and make sure they don't react. And then be like, all right, let's go hang out. Okay, guys.
Yep.
Let's go now.
But before that, before
Right,
I talk
that's
to you, we're going to do one more thing. And we're going to walk into this building that has a devil's trap and salt on it. And she just, like, stomps her foot in the salt. To one, you broke your seal, Ellen. Like, way to go. But was...
God damn it. Don't break the seal, Ellen.
Was it, like... I don't know why, like, if she was trying to show that she could touch salt.
I don't know. But they go inside, and she then at this point now she can be emotional, so she gives Dean a big hug because she had heard that he was alive, but she hadn't seen him, and so she was very mad that he hadn't called or followed up.
Dick move, guys. Like, yeah, like why haven't you keep like Ellen's badass? Like, you keep in touch with that woman. She'll save your ass one day.
Yeah. So basically, she's trying to tell them what's going on, and that there's demons in the whole town. And it asks them if this is the end times. And so they go into this other room. There's a small group of 9 people from the town in this room. Like, it's kind of like the basement of the church, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like a gathering room of the church. And she tells everybody they're hunters that are there to help. And she got there because Rufus called her as well. He was there investigating omens, and the town was possessed. And so Ellen and Joe had been hunting together and ended up there. And Sam's like, well, let's just get these people out of town then. What the fuck? And she's like, yeah, we've tried, but there used to be 20 of us, and now there's 10.
Oops.
Basically. She didn't say that.
Yep.
The math. Yeah. And he's like, well, let's just go get more guns. And
America.
Sam saw the sporting goods store on his way in. What? And so they're like, yeah. All right. Well, they're gonna go find guns, salt, Joe, and Rufus.
That's the shopping list. It's like on a little post-it. Guns.
Yeah.
So.
Guns, Joe, salt, Rufus. And then in the stairwell though, they stop because Dean's like, yeah, maybe I'd go, and Sam, you kind of just stay here with these guys. And Sam's like, oh, you just don't want me around demons. And Dean tries to lie, but obviously
Dean's still being a little bitch.
Yeah, and he's upset, but Sam's like, look, fine, I'll just go get salt, you go get the guns. And now Dean's like, well, maybe we shouldn't separate, hold on a minute. So make up your mind, Dean. So but they do. Sam's like, let's just be professional and
what the fuck is that?
So
like,
Sam,
you're not professionals. You're not the FBI. Like, you're two hunters. Like, what the fuck is? Let's be prof, man.
We're just gonna have a business
no. Let's make sure,
now.
like, we've got to file this TPR report.
Who's gonna file the HR report? Oh my god. All right. So Sam goes to the Quick Mart to get rock salt, and 2 demons come in, and they're young kids, like teens. And at first they don't see him, but then of course he makes a noise, and then they do. So it's be a big fight, and Sam tries to exorcise him, but doesn't do it successfully, so ends up having to stab him.
Yep. And there's some of your bitch blood, Sammy. Dude, craving. And then he just like goes.
Yeah, and he seemed to do pretty good. And he was not. He's told us last episode he was fine. Now he's fighting demons. There's blood everywhere, and now we tell that Sam is not so fine. Sam is craving some demons.
Poor Sam, man.
Which now, by the way, I'm also. Oh, never mind. There's a whole other layer to that to this episode, especially. But I'm just gonna leave that alone. We'll come. Yep. Yeah.
So anyway, Dean comes in the door.
Make sense that
and then like Dean comes in the door and he looks at Sam and then he looks at the blood, and then he looks at Sam, and it's just like, get the fuck over it, Dean. And like also, and we'll get into this later too, I think. But there's a lot of addiction things that are going on and things that piss me off as people who support people with addictions and people who don't. And I understand, like, you already had your intervention. We're past that shit now, Dean. Like, now you're in support mode. You can't just keep like blaming the addict and expecting them to like not have cravings. Like, he was sucking down bitch blood for like a year, man. He's gonna have cravings. Deal with it.
Well, and then now and then we cut back to the church, and everybody's like prepping weapons and trying to do some training. And there's a veteran who obviously, anyways, he does a really nice teardown of an AR.
Well, I like that you think that it's a nice tear down, because this is my notes. He was just like, the guy proceeds to tear it down. Now put it back together, you cocky asshole. Because, like, when Dean goes, do you know anything about guns? And I get it. Like, you're stepping up, bro. But you could have just said, yes, I was in the army.
Yeah. I mean, but also there's something really like, when you've put together and taken apart an AR that many times, you haven't done it in a while. There's something. Yeah, we would have to.
How fast did you get?
I honestly don't remember. I'm not great. I'm really good. I can take it all apart and put it back together. I'm not super fast. Plus I have nails now, so.
But you didn't have nails then. Like, was it like a minute? Like, what's the time?
I was decent. No, it was faster than that. I don't remember. I really don't remember, but I was decent speed at it. But I mean, I enjoyed doing it. And I've, like, a few years ago, somebody was like, I hadn't done it in years because I've been out of the military for several years now. But for a few years, a couple years ago, somebody was like, what? You know how to do that? And I was like, yeah. Kind of part of being in the army. Shocker. And so I was like, and I took it up. Well, I mean, an AR specific. Technically, okay, to be clear, technically the military doesn't use an AR. They use an M16 or an M4, but it's almost identical. Just to be clear for people that are not gun knowledgeable people, AR is the civilian version, which does not have burst or automatic options, which the M4 has burst. Yeah. But that's okay. Does not have full auto either. But yeah. So anyway, no, it's kind of a thing, like, because you get like a flow to it in a system, and so it's almost like it's a very rhythmic thing when you're used to doing it very regularly. So that's why I kind of see why he did it. It didn't bother me. But I thought it was interesting that the way they play the characters off, that like Dean asks where he served, the guy asks Dean where he served, and Dean
he's like, seriously.
Yeah. So,
well, now we have Mopey Sam. He's all mopey.
Yeah. Yeah, because he killed 2 possessed teenagers.
Yeah, and you should be sad. And we don't even deal with that at the end of this episode. Yeah, so, whatever. You just fucking killed 2 teenagers.
Yep. So, Dean really kind of, like, Ellen wants to look for Joe, and Dean doesn't trust Sam to go out on his own. And they do a big stare down. And then Ellen and Sam go after all.
Yeah. Sam does have a very good line that crap doesn't hit the fan with coffee breaks. And of anybody who has ever, been in those type of crisis situations where shit doesn't stop. I get you. I feel you, Sam. But so at this point, though, like, Sam has just had enough of Dean shit. And good for you, Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he just shoves him. And yeah.
So they figure out that there's a house. Oh, go ahead. So they go to look for Joe, and they're working their way through town, and Ellen tries to kind of ask what's going on with them, and he's just like, oh no, it's just the rest of the job, blah. And then they see that there's a house with smoke coming from the chimney. They go to investigate, and they see demons in the window, but they're like, but demons don't need fire unless they're burning something. So maybe
does that also
also
mean that demons can't sweat? Like, if they don't feel cold, then they don't feel heat.
But do their meat?
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's saying they don't feel cold, so why they can't feel hot? So, like, that's the best superpower, like, I could ever think of. Like, I can just wear this, like, leather jacket all the time and just look awesome and not sweat. I'm a demon. All right. So hell just breaks loose.
So, yeah. But then they get attacked. Yeah, they get attacked. It's they're getting attacked by one man and Joe are now attacking them, but both of their eyes are black. So we're like, oh fuck, this guy and Joe are now possessed. This is bad. But Joe is attacking Ellen with her black demon eyes and yelling at Ellen, Give me my mom back, you black-eyed
And
bitch.
also said, don't move, you evil skank. And this is the second time in a week that skank has come back into my life. And I think it's a synchronicity. And we need to bring skank back. So this is the official start that skank is coming back as a word. Just so you know.
That's real weird. And then Sam tells Ellen to run, but then he gets hit in the head. And she does, but he gets hit in the head, and it's Rufus. And Rufus has black eyes. So, fuck. So now, as you know, right now, for all we know, Joe, this random dude, and Rufus are all demons.
This is also the start of Rufus hitting people in the head, which he does this entire episode. We'll point it out every time it happens. But even if there is a demon inside of, he's bopping them on the head, but there's still like Sam's brain inside of there. Like, we know what happens to football players. Like, do hunters like have the same thing? Like, it just getting concussions over and over again. They just start losing. Like, yeah, Rufus, stop hitting people on the head. Anyway, so Sam's gonna wake up tied in a chair.
Yeah. And Rufus and Joe, with their black eyes, are calling him an evil son of a bitch and throwing holy water on him. And they want to start pouring salt down his throat.
It's a lot of salt. And I also wonder, like, I didn't see in the notes what they used. Because that can't, like, as an actor, like, that can't be pleasant to have, like, that much salt poured down your... Even if it's sugar, that's still a lot of, like, I don't know how you make that happen without it being awful.
I don't think you can. It's going to be awful. Back at the church, Ellen returns by herself, and Dean wants to know where Sam is. And then when she just shakes her head, the pregnant lady starts freaking out about what if the demons are here. In the demon house, Sam is desperately trying to get Joe and Rufus to stop shoving salt down his fucking throat. And they're just really fucking confused. And we see a man in the doorway. And this man we saw briefly in the church basement earlier. Kind of a quiet character, but he was there briefly. But now he's in the hallway at the demon house, and he makes eye contact with Sam and twists a ring on his finger. And which is never a great sign. And so Sam looks up and sees a devil's trap on the ceiling. And Joe and Rufus are just completely confused. They don't understand what's happening or why. Now, though, we turn and get their view of Sam, and we see that they see Sam with black eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, shit. So now we know that something is
we knew something was amiss. Now it's a miss.
More so a miss. It's not just like it's a miss. It's not just they've got a demon infestation. There's something weird going on. So back in the church, we got Ellen and Dean there talking, and she's like, there's a demon in Joe, but it's real fucking weird because the demon in Joe called me a black-eyed bitch, but we need to figure out how to get this out of Joe without killing her. And they're really confused why salt and holy water didn't work from their side either, and that Joe had an anti-possession spell or amulet, so she shouldn't have been able to be possessed.
Weird.
And Dean's like, yeah, no, something's real off. But my first instinct is to call Bobby. But
I also
Sam.
love that she asked him, like, what's your instinct? And I think that's a really good question. Like, and also just kind of in the middle of a crisis to have, like, as someone who manages crises for a living, as Diana does, like, it's really nice to have someone be like, okay, stop. We don't know what's going on. What's your gut? And I just think, yeah, damn, like, Ellen, like, you're badass. I love her so much. And so then, like, Dean just starts breaking it down. And I was like, all right, wait, why was Rufus in town? Like, why was he here in the first place?
And he was there because he was looking into an omen regarding water, is all they know. But they asked the priest, and they're like, yeah, like, just like a week ago, out of nowhere, the river just ran with pollution real hard all of a sudden. That was a week ago, and then
maybe they got some 10-tail lizards.
And then,
yeah,
maybe they did. And then our Fallujah veteran, whose name the character's name.
Yeah, at this point, I just started calling him Tactical Austin. Well, because first I was calling him Tactical Guy, and then I was calling him Austin, and then I just started calling him Tactical Austin, or TA for short.
I just called him that. But he mentions, by the way, it might not be anything, but there was also a giant shooting star that night. And so Dean grabs the Bible.
Because it's not X-Files.
Things Dean doesn't typically do.
But he's in research mode. Like, smart move. Like, right? Like, I know this. I know this is something.
I know the answer. So he flips through the Bible to Revelations, and I'll read the whole, the 2 verses. Well, most of the 2 verses. It's Revelations 8:10 through 11. It's a great star, blazing like a torch, fell from the sky on a third of the rivers and on the springs of water. The name of the star is Wormwood.
Weird, because that's not what he said in the show. Which is also, but that's also like,
but it's very close.
There's a lot of fucking, there's
8 million versions of the Bible.
That.
Anyways,
that's a thing. Okay.
But basically, the Revelations does describe a star falling, something, and then the water, affecting water, and then the star is called Wormwood. That's what.
And if you don't, so, and there's a lot of things for Wormwood, which is also probably goes into satanic things and other stuff, but also that is how we get absinthe. So yay, Wormwood. Yes. But then the Reverend asked, or the priest, I guess he's a priest, sorry, he asked in the best voice ever, like, are you saying this is about the apocalypse?
Yeah, he's like,
he's so great. Like, just his, like, just that, like, and also just imagine being, like, a holy person who like, always, like, I think this is real, and then someone's like, what? No, the apocalypse is here.
He's like, what? Yeah. And then Dean makes a reference to the 4 horsemen and says, which one rides a red horse? And I'm so disappointed he didn't do this. And the answer is war. And he mentions the Cherry Mustang and that's how he'd roll if he was.
Yeah. That honestly, I don't like those Mustangs, but whatever. But oh shit! Like then he realizes like we've been gaslit.
This is war. This isn't a demonic possession situation. So Sam's still tied up, and we cut back to that house, and the man that was in the hallway touching his ring enters, and Sam asks who he is. Well, Roger that's the name of the body, but Sam's like, well, who are you really? He's like, Roger, aka War, says, hint, I was in Germany, the Middle East. I was in Darfur, waiting to hook up with siblings. I've got 3.
Yeah, it's funny, but it's also like douchebag. I hate people who answer questions in a fucking riddle. Like, just tell me who the fuck you are. You could have just said, hey, I'm one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. My name is War. It's nice to meet you. And said, oh, I'm just going to like, but I also love how this actor, like, he did such a great job of switching between his characters, right? So like his Roger character is just, like at the first, like, if you didn't know what was happening, like you would just assume like, oh, that's just like kind of a loser guy, like whatever. And then like he's just like, oh, then he's like the sexy like horseman, and he's just like, yeah, I run the apocalypse, I make wars happen.
Oh, sexy,
yeah, sexy war. I'm War.
All right, so this is when Sam figures it out. So now we've got both of our brothers figuring out what the fuck's going on separately, which is good. He's like, all right, it's not demons. You just took out the bridge and made everybody hallucinate and sit back, and that's it. And War is like, no, people are fucking vicious. This is, last week it was Mayberry, and this week they're stabbing each other's kids. And he gets that Roger, is like, yeah, you think I'm a monster? I just put Jello. I'm just Jello shots at a party. I remove inhibition.
Yeah, and then he also pokes fun of the Irish. It's like, you've seen the Irish? Yeah. They're all Irish. And yes, I love you guys, but yeah, you just fight each other because, yeah. But it's a very it is a very Kripke point, and I know Sarah is pulling it, pulling in, but it's this idea that all of this idea of other forces causing things to happen are just people being stupid. And that's pretty much just like, yeah, y'all are just stupid. All I did was get you drunk a little bit, and next thing you know, like, you're fucking killing each other.
You made your own choices.
You made that choice. Like, and then like, and then it's just like, oh, it gets bad. Yep. Like, he just starts, what he's saying about Sam, ooh.
Yeah, he gets into him on being his poster boy for obsessing over the demon blood, and that it's all it was about all along was lust and power. You just wanted to be stronger than everyone, but you had good intentions, but that's how the slide to hell.
That's heavy.
then we get Roger twists his ring and says, "Showtime for the meat suits," and falls down like his head hurts and it's right in Rufus.
And he also makes
and Roger
like blood's just coming out of his head, which is a great party trick. That's fucking great.
Yeah. And so Roger has a wound and blames Sam, claims that Sam's told him that the demons were coming. And all Rufus and Joe are seeing is Sam with black eyes. So now they're like freaking out. And so Rufus.
He hits him on the head again with a shotgun.
Again.
There's a brain in there. There's a brain. Damn, Rufus, chill the fuck out.
So back at the church, though. Right, back at the church though. That's our vet is
Tactical
Austin, whatever we're gonna call him, is very skeptical of what Dean has explained is actually going on. He doesn't. I mean, because
you're like, wait a minute, what? You just like spent all this time convincing me they were demons, and now,
right, and now you were wrong. No, demons are real. These
but I'm not these guys. So this is something else, and I would also be like, fuck you. I'm gonna do my own shit now.
Wait a minute. Yeah, so, but then there's a knock at the door, and it's Roger. Quote unquote, it's War, but they don't know him. They just know him as Roger. Which I think is interesting that no one noticed he, like, ran out, but that's a whole thing. Anyways, they just let him on back in, and he tells them that the demons know that they're trying to leave, and the demons are going to pick them off one by one. The demon's like, well, tell me details. How do you know this? And our tactical Austin tends to believe Roger, and is like, nope, we need to arm up. That's all there is to it. Roger winks at Dean, touches his ring, and now all of a sudden, everybody else in the room sees that Dean and Ellen's eyes are black. And my note literally says, "Aw,
son of a
shit."
bitch. Yep. So they're demons and they run. Side note on this, at least this episode, they didn't all have to wear black contacts. This was all done through editing. So at least like everyone could see what they were doing. So that's all good. So they're at least not running blind. But then like War and Tactical Austin like have this conversation, right? And War is just pushing those buttons.
Yeah. Yeah, basically like, well, they could have been demons all along. You need to go knives in I need to go get the knives out of the kitchen. We just really need to, this salt and holy water crap is bullshit. We just need to go with what we know.
Mm-hmm. And so it's, I don't know, this whole situation is just like, wow, you're manipulating somebody who is easily manipulated. And so there is, it's just like, damn it, Tactical Austin, damn it. So War is just very happy, but at the house, Rufus is just like, I'm gonna make a pipe bomb. That's what I'm gonna do in my spare time.
Yeah, he's just making pipe bombs like you do. And he's like, well, it won't kill demons, but they come at you slower without limbs. And Joe's like, yeah, my mom's a demon right now, motherfucker. Like, thanks for the sensitivity, brah.
Yep. And then he's just like,
by the way, I need to work on that. I've been saying bra.
Yeah,
like,
do you want me to cut it?
like
I can edit it. I can edit it out or
way.
just make it happen more.
No.
But like Joe, when she says that, and he is just like, listen to me, like I'm gonna do everything, like your mom's gonna be okay, and then she's just fine with like him, like she gives him more bombs. I'm like, no matter like what, like yeah, it's still your mom. The same thing with like Stam, like just stabbing teenagers. Like they are people who are possessed. Like teenagers. They are not like actual like full on fucking monsters. That's your mom.
We cut and we see our tactical Austin starting to lead people out of the church because his plan is to slowly try to sneak them out of town fully armed now, is what we think his plan is.
But is it?
We cut back to... That's what we thought the plan was, but I think Roger may have influenced that
Perhaps.
So... Rufus and Joe are loading weapons, and then one of the bombs explodes, and so they have to go investigate. And smartly, it was Dean and Ellen intentionally set off the trigger so that they could lure Rufus and Joe out and explain to them what the fuck was actually going on. But all of them, everybody thinks the other's a demon. It's a fucking like train wreck.
Well,
all
they
fight
don't
along.
like no
And,
Dean and Ellen. No, like they're not demons. And then like yeah,
Right. Well,
and
I
Dean's
know,
just
but
trying
still.
to explain shit to Rufus. He was just being old man stubborn, and it just takes him a while. And like including some great lines where Dean's like, "It's war," and Rufus is like, "Damn right it is."
Damn right it is. Yeah. Yeah. No, I had that written down too. Yeah, it was pretty funny. But then finally Rufus relents. And then we see that our tactical Austin is attempting to somewhat tactically lead the people from the church across town. Somewhat.
Yep, he's not on my apocalypse team. He's fucking off. Like, no, you're on your own, brah. See, that's with the brah.
So, bruh. Back at our good old demon house.
Base camp or
quote,
whatever.
unquote, which
yeah.
isn't. It's just like the stronghold. Base camp, whatever we want to call it. We've got Dean saying, all right, well, telling the team. Now we've got Dean, Rufus, Ellen, and Joe all together. He's like, hey, we've got to find war. Oh, but guess who's firing on them? Because Tactical Austin decided that they need to go attack this house that he's convinced is full of demons, when really it's not. And he decides to start shooting at the house. God damn it. And that, of course, triggers for their defense shooters in the house, which there are a couple of, to start shooting back, which sucks. Because now we've got a bunch of people that think the other person's evil shooting at each other. Dean has to go rescue Sam, and Sam's figured it out by now too. But they're basically, their whole thing is they need to get the ring from War. That's their focus. So we've got the house getting surrounded by the townspeople. They're all taking shots at each other. Rufus is trying to make his people stop shooting back, to stop killing their innocent fucking neighbors who just think that they're all each other.
Yeah. Yeah, he does we get a lethal weapon reference. We get, there is, I'm getting too old for this shit line. And then, the guy who was shooting a priest, no, wait, not the one who's shooting the priest, but there's another guy who won't stop shooting, and Rufus hits him in the head with a gun. Stop it.
Oh, yeah.
Stop it, Rufus. You're out of control. Out of control.
And the young guy that the young guy that he had rescued earlier in the show, the very like when the first time we saw Rufus in, he had dragged this kid away with a tourniquet on his leg. That kid just keeps fucking shooting, and he shoots the priest. And a woman tries to, and the priest is injured pretty badly. A woman's trying to help him. Ellen even goes to help because she's like, and she's telling the woman, "I'm not what you think I am," and she's trying to save the fucking priest from bleeding out. And Rufus snatches the kid's gun away right at that time.
Yeah, but at the same time,
And oh my gosh, Tactical Austin walks up on Ellen, who's trying to help the priest, and he shoves his AR barrel in her face.
Yep.
And pulls the trigger.
Woo!
It jams like ARs do, by the way.
Fair. Yeah,
Like,
I've been there. Yeah, not in somebody's face. Not in somebody's face. No.
To be clear, like that's why you buy an AK, because they don't do that. They don't have to have shitty aim.
Yeah,
but they
okay,
don't
so
do
we
that
can
so
go.
much.
Yeah,
Not as much.
But anyway,
But
so
that's okay.
Ellen is a badass,
I
and
don't
she
have
is like, "Oh, and thank you for having this long gun in my face, which is
Oh,
easy to
she
take
is-
out."
it goes click, and she grabs it and freaking like.
She's
oh
a
my God,
badass.
it's crazy.
But then, like,
So
he
good.
just is like, at this point, I'm like, is this PTSD triggering or something? Because he's just
he's
gone.
like, yeah,
Like
now he
he
really
is,
wants to stab
he
her.
is not in a good place. He just, Tactical Austin, you shouldn't have weapons. And
But War thinks he's in a good place because he's going to stroll up to his 1966 Mustang. But guess who's watching for him?
it is Sam and Dean.
Dean.
Oh,
And so Sam pulls the demon knife on him, and Roger's like, "You can't kill War," and they're like, "Yeah, we know."
they cut
So
off
what do
his
they do?
finger, which is really funny because
Fingers.
just I guess fingers, but they're really just getting the finger with the ring. But which is also interesting is that this was actually like a show car, so they couldn't get blood on the car, so that's why the finger's not cut off on the car.
As soon as they cut the fingers off, the hallucination ends for everybody. So our good old Tactical Austin stops trying to kill Ellen, and all of them kind of pause because they're looking around and realizing what the fuck they've all been doing to each other.
Yeah, they flash to the kid upstairs, and he's like, "Oh," and you just see like, "Oh, this is so expensive. So much therapy is coming out of this."
And all of a sudden, though, Dean and Sam are still like in the alley where the car was, but now the car and War are all just like poof.
They poofed. They're gone.
Totally.
But the ring
like
is there.
Yeah. Right. And then we cut to our good brothers at a park bench, like on a
Picnic bench outside of a lake.
hanging out, talking.
Yeah.
Like a picnic bench. Yeah. Yeah. Which is kind of like a weird, like, lack of wrap up, by the way. It's like, cool, that was real fucked up. Everybody's
What
dealing with this
happens
deep, fucked
to
up shit they all
Joe
did to
and
each other.
Ellen
Bye.
and Rufus? Like, they're just gone now. I guess, like, we miss those awkward goodbye scenes.
I guess they just go back to what they
Okay.
do. Yeah. So, but Sam acknowledges that he knows that Dean doesn't trust him, and this is like, I'll get to why this episode affects me, but that this is not really this is not the reason. Shockingly, but he knows that Dean doesn't trust him, and that honestly he doesn't really trust himself, even though he had good intentions. He fucked up. The problem isn't really the blood; it's just how far I'm willing to go to be whatever. And that Sam decides that he needs to take a step back from hunting.
He needs some mental health
And so
time.
maybe they should go their separate
Totally
ways.
reasonable, man. Like, you've been through a lot. Like, yeah, you should take a break and think. But Dean is just like, you're right.
Just like, okay.
And at least Sam, like,
Just let
yeah,
him.
he's emotionally mature enough to say, like, I expected you to give me a fight, right? Because I would just be, as probably as me, like, I would say as a woman, but I'm sure other women are much better with dealing with their feelings than I am. Because I would swallow that up and be like, okay. And just walk off. Like, I would not have said I expected a fight. I would have just been like, fine. Whatever. And then just leave. But Dean actually says, I think you're right. And I'm spending too much time worrying about you. And it's interfering with my job. Oh, fuck you, man. Oh, go fuck yourself, Dean. Like,
And then he offers the Impala. What?
That's a guilt
I don't
trip.
think he meant
That's
it.
just like, well, I mean, I guess I can give my brother this car, and that'll make like be better with me abandoning him while he's going through this whole like life crisis about who I am, and like I'm trying to overcome.
And then he watches Sam hitch
Like
a
a
ride.
serial
And
killer.
he watches him hitch a ride
Like
and leave.
Sam just gets into a car with a camper on it,
with a
and
camper
like
truck.
we know what happens in trucks with campers. I watched that Dateline. I know what Sam. This is the start of Sam's Dateline episode. He's just off. Yep. Or he becomes a serial killer with that guy.
Ugh.
And this is like a partner thing, and they pick up people
Well, I
on the
mean-
way, whatever. But someone's getting murdered. That's what happens in that car, that truck.
Right. And then you can sleep in it.
Well, you're with the corpse, with Sam's corpse.
So let me get my casting notes. So we'll do casting call from this episode. Just a couple of notes. We got one big one, as we both know. And then I'll tell you how I feel about this one. Tactical Austin, aka the veteran, played by Sean Roberts. Just a couple of notes. He was Rogue's boyfriend in X-Men, and he was Wester in the Resident Evil series. Then we also, I'll save the biggest one for last. We also have our pastor, played by Michael Biehn. He's actually been in multiple. We'll see him again in Supernatural, and he was also played the priest in the movie Jennifer's Body. And then Roger, aka War, played by Titus Welliver. He was Dino in The Town, as well as Bates in Argo, both of which are Ben Affleck films. Interesting. He's also it's an Amazon Prime show called Bosch. He plays Bosch. It's a series, so he's the namesake of that.
Pretty big series. It's like probably won Emmys and shit.
Yeah.
I think like.
You got his Agent Vietti in Shaft, the recent Shaft movie. Jimmy O'Phelan in Sons of Anarchy.
Wait, what was the recent Shaft movie? When was the last Shaft movie?
Just a couple years ago. A few years ago.
Was it?
Or was it like longer ago now? Well, recent. It was
I
not
don't
the
know.
1970s
I've never-
one. I don't know. It was not the
No,
19.
no.
I didn't write down the year. I knew it was in the last few years. Some other interesting notes about Titus Welliver. So he also played, quote, the Man in Black, who was transformed into the apparently evil smoke monster on Lost. Coincidentally, who was also killed by the character of his brother, played by Mark Pellegrino, who we met in the last episode, who is going to be Lucifer. Boom.
Small world.
And
Wait, there's more?
There's more. And he had a recurring role in Deadwood as Silas Adams, and Jim Beaver was also in Deadwood as Ellsworth. So I'm going to give you my quick rundown of why I don't like this episode. But, I find this episode upsetting, I guess is a better way to say it. Number one, like when it's like this much of like fooling each other and we know and they don't, it's just very frustrating. Which is not necessarily like, doesn't make me like actively dislike it. Just as I think that's what they want to evoke. They want us to be frustrated. Like, no, my God, figure it out. But it's frustrating nonetheless.
So when did you figure it out?
Well, I kind of when Joe said something to Ellen, when she said like, "Get out of my mom, you black-eyed bitch." That's when I was like, "Oh shit."
Okay, so you figured out when Joe and Ellen met each other, and there was the two black guys.
Yeah, that's what I figured out.
Okay.
So I was like, "Son of a bitch," and that was frustrating. But then you're like, "God damn it!" Well, this is frustrating. And then you feel like it's an unbeatable bad guy in war because he's able to do this to them, which is also frustrating. And look, I mean, obviously they found a way to get around it, but that was frustrating. And so you've got the combination, though, of what feels like an unbeatable, unwinnable situation. And arguably, it was an unwinnable situation. Nobody fucking won. All these people are traumatized and fucked with. And that doesn't really even get addressed. Like, other than like one, like, oh, we showed a silhouette of a sad kid. Okay, now we're going to move on to our boys' trauma that they can't fucking reconcile. Like, we just ignore this, like, level of fucked. Like, I don't know. And, like, kids getting fucking murdered and no one's talking about this. Like, this is really, like, really goddamn dark. That really bothers me. It also was, like, a major, like, it also kind of, like, reminded me of, like, what people do to each other today, not only in society, but also in warfare specifically, too, where we dehumanize our enemy. And so even if the person across from us is a human being and we see that they're a human being, if there's something that we perceive or if we're forced to think that there's something different about them or forced to think they're our enemy, it's very easy to dehumanize them. Anyways, it's a theory of war, but it also like kind of applied here, I felt like, because they were able to dehumanize their neighbors by thinking they were.
But what? I mean, but that is kind of the point.
No, I know, but it's just upsetting. That doesn't. But
Well, it's
also
upsetting, but it's. I mean, in terms of storytelling, and I'm not saying supernatural is a morality play, but it's like, yeah, this is pointing out the human existence, and humans suck.
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like it was. I don't know. I didn't like the way it made me feel, Liz. And then
Because it gave you feels. Yeah, and you don't like feels because feels are for suckers, right?
I can handle
Diana
feels, but this was icky feels. And then,
but they make you think feels, and I think they're important to have.
And that's what I think that sucked about it. I think if you're going to have this as your message about dehumanization and humanity and all of that, I think you've just made a fucked up emotional storyline with no resolution instead of having a like, hey, we could have made this like actually meaningful. And I think they fucking dropped the ball. That's my opinion.
Forceful.
And then we get to so we got that like fucking like no emotional resolution to a deeply ethical / traumatic situation. And now we've got the brothers having their fucking bitch out fight where Sam's trying to like not fight, but you know what I mean, like where Sam's like, I need to go have some personal time, and Dean's like, okay, bye. Like, what the fuck? Like,
but at this point too, like he's been such a little bitch for the past 2 episodes. So I'm like, yeah, Dean, maybe you need to think about what.
Oh wait, hold on. Which one? Just kidding. I said which one. I'm teasing.
Well, I mean, it's very easy. They go back and forth between which one's being the bitch. And Sam's actually being kind of the grown-up here. He's acknowledging his feelings, acknowledging that, hey, there's some deeper shit I need to dive into. I need to understand why I wanted to lick blood off of Ruby's forearm.
Well, and now he's probably dealing with the fact that it wasn't even about demon blood. He just wanted to drink blood because he killed a human that he thought was a demon. And he was about to drink that teenager's blood in the middle of the freaking quickie.
All right, okay. Anything else you need to say about this episode?
I do not have anything else to say about this
Okay.
episode.
All right. Well, we're gonna stop.
That's what I got.
That's just it. All right. Cheers, jerk.
All right.
Devil's Trap Podcast is a Don't Get It production. Meow.
Devil's Trap Podcast is part of the Ship It Studios Podcast Network. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Devil's Trap Podcast, Twitter at Devil's Trap Pod, or you can email us at devilstrap@devilstrappodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave reviews, and share with all your friends. We're at all your favorite podcast outlets and at devilstrappodcast.com. I'm Babe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.